for the home games. Big crowd, big atmosphere. It is the one remaining SPFL fixture of the weekend. Highlights and sports scene a little bit later, 7:15 BBC Scotland channel. Full live commentary right here. It is Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Hearts against Celtic live with Craig Levine, Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. Good afternoon, everyone. It is one of the fixtures in the Scottish football calendar that whets the appetite. Celtic in the capital against Hearts at Tynecastle. As we've been discussing, it has been rather one-sided, but those 3 victories in 43 for Hearts against Celtic have all come here at home. The one most recently 10 games ago, Ange Postecoglou's first league game in charge when Hearts got the job done. It's something they'll be desperate to do this afternoon. They had that disappointment a fortnight ago of shipping 2 goals in a minute and a half against their rivals Hibs, and this would be a great chance to kick on and respond to that. Celtic, well, they've had their issues at the start of the season, but they more or less, other than that draw at home to St Johnstone, have got the job done. They were slick, moved the ball nicely, scored 3 goals and could have had more against Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago, and they'll be looking to build on that with all the players. They had 13 of them in total away on international duty. As the players come off the line and sprint over to the various sides, Celtic are going to go from left to right as we sit here in the Wheatfield stands, Tynecastle, and Hearts going from right to left, looking to get themselves closer to St Mirren and go a point behind St Mirren in third with a victory here this afternoon. Celtic, of course, looking to stretch that gap back between themselves and Rangers to 7 points and keep the pressure on. And Rangers, of course, getting that perfect start under Philippe Clement at home to Hibs yesterday, but Celtic will look to have no mercy in terms of allowing their rivals to close down that gap. If you missed the team news earlier, Celtic have gone with the same 11 that beat Kilmarnock 3-1 before the break, so it's Hart, Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate with Maida and Lewis Palma either side of Kyogo. And Hearts with just that one change, Alex Cochrane fit again after over a month out. He's in for the injured Stephen Kingsley, so it's Clark in goal, Sibic, Kent, Rolls, Cochrane, Neubenhoff and Devlin, Forrest, Lowry and Vargas. In behind Lawrence Shanklin, who, as we mentioned, has not scored in the Premiership since the opening day, but of course in that dramatic 4-3 game last year, a year ago to the day in fact, he did grab himself a hat-trick, so he is capable against a team of Celtic's calibre. Celtic players just doing their traditional pre-match huddle, greeted with boos as you would expect. Tynecastle was almost half full only 5 minutes ago, but all the legions of fans have poured in. And it's fairly packed, not totally packed you have to say, but home fans here rowdy, in good voice and hoping to roar their team on to victory. Celtic will have other ideas. The referee Nick Walsh looks at his watch and he blows the whistle. Cammy Devlin knocks it back and we are underway, and the ball goes up to this guy. Carter-Vickers is underneath it. Hatate gets a flick on for Celtic in midfield. It's fallen though for Lowry, who's fizzed it down the left-hand touchline. Carter-Vickers used his body to get across there, and he's knocked it back to the goalkeeper Joe Hart inside the 6-yard area. He's put the foot through it up towards Kyogo, who goes down under challenge. No free kick. O'Reilly helps it to Maida, then out to the right-hand side, and Alistair Johnson, who takes it down the touchline. He's not got much room. He's knocked it towards Maida, who can't get there, and Rolls comes across and clears up to Lowry, outside the boot pass up to the halfway line, and Shanklin, that's a lovely pass, and Shanklin's out on the left-hand side, looks for the running behind him. He's been caught here. Lawrence Shanklin gets the free kick. Late challenge from Alistair Johnson. It's going to be a Hearts free kick on the far side midway through the Celtic half.
Yeah, late challenge, wasn't it? And he's lucky that so early in the game, maybe the referee's giving him the benefit of the doubt. It shouldn't matter, but it probably has to go through his head. Yeah, it was a bad tackle, late tackle.
Good chance for Hearts, as I say, over on the far side in front of the main stand. Cochrane is over it, as is Alex Lowry. He puts his arm up. It's going to be Lowry with a right foot, whips it in towards the penalty spot. Celtic allow it to bounce, but Joe Hart came out to the edge of his 6-yard box and claimed it, and he's flung it with the right hand up to Palmon halfway, whose touch isn't great. It allows Cammy Devlin to come across, control it on the chest, then he dicks the pass forward for Forrest, who's come in field. He's midway through the Celtic half. O'Reilly makes a good tackle. It's now with Palma again. O'Reilly on halfway, inside ball. It's just behind Hatate, who then loses out. to Forrest again, and Forrest is going to dart forward right through the middle of the pitch. McGregor puts a challenge in. It's hear him, scare him stuff. It's frantic. Johnston, he's looked for the run in behind of Kyogo, but it's far too far in front of him, and Xander Clark, the goalkeeper, will collect. Nearly 2 minutes played, 0-0. Frantic start, Craig Levine.
Yeah, it's good to see. The atmosphere's great as well, but the game hasn't settled yet at all, and it's just frantic, isn't it?
Absolutely, given away there by McGregor. You don't see that too often. The Celtic captain, Cochrane's under pressure, looks for the pass. They're running behind of... And it's gone round for a goal kick. Well, Hearts are claiming that's a corner's offside. Yeah, the flag's gone up, yeah, because first instance was certainly a corner kick. Vargas it was, tussling with Carter Vickers. Celtic free kick just outside their own box. Hart goes square to Liam Scales, and Celtic I think will just maybe try and get their foot on the ball and take a pause, a bit of breath, and try and build some play, because Hearts have been all over them. It's been frantic in the opening couple of minutes. Palma up the line to Hatate on this left-hand touchline. He's not got too much room, Hatate, but he's found infield to Palma, who tried to lay into the path of the on-rushing Greg Taylor, but it's intercepted, and Hearts hack it out for a throw-in in front of us here on the near side, 0-0.
Yeah, Celtic just need to get the ball down and get a... We talked about that pass and that one-touch, two-touch passing to get a bit of control in the game, because the game is very, very frantic. Hearts trying to play those balls early down the side of the centre halves, and Craig talked about a runner going. I think it's Vargas that is making the runs high up the pitch alongside Shanklin at the moment.
Here's Palma for Celtic, comes in field, he's chipped over to Riley's in the penalty area, takes it first time. It's a wonderful, wonderful goal by Matt O'Reilly. Oh, what a season he is having. Hearts go to sleep, he goes in, left-footed volley across Xander Clark. Hearts 0, Celtic 1.
What a fantastic strike and run from Matt O'Reilly to get in and finish that one. Great pass, great run, perfect timing of it all worked together. I was waiting for somebody to come across and defend that ball, and I'm also maybe looking for the goalkeeper to come out, because he's almost finished from what, about 7 yards out?
Yeah, I think it was difficult for the goalkeeper to come that far out, but Nieuwenhof's to blame from Hearts' point of view. He just let him run. He's let him run. I mean, he's about 4 yards behind him, but he needed to work harder to get back in so that he couldn't get back. Listen, I can't take anything away. It was a wonderful goal. The timing of the shot was superb.
Well, Hearts, the one thing you don't want to do is just give Celtic an early goal. They did it on one occasion last season as well. Just give yourself a mountain to climb. And what a season O'Reilly is having, though. It's his 6th goal of the season, 6 in the Premiership. He's already bettered his tally from last season. And it's a free kick now in the middle of pitch, centre circle for Celtic.
That was Nieuwenhof again. I mean, you want to come into this game on your toes and ready to go. It looks like he just got out of his bed.
Here is Liam Scales on halfway, left-footed pass into the feet of Palma. He's one-on-one with Sibic, goes on the outside of him. Sibic gets back, a couple of little touches from Palma, tries to go with a right foot cross, doesn't deliver it in the end, nudges it to Taylor, back to Palma, who nips away from Forrest, but then was caught by Sibic, I think. Looks rather soft, but free kick Celtic, just about in line with the edge of the left-hand side, just in from the touchline.
Yeah, I think that's what Palma gives Celtic too. He's obviously hit that pass. The vision, gets his head up early, and he sees, he can take people on, but he can also see the killer pass. And it was a beautiful ball flighted in for Matt O'Reilly. What a season he's having, Matt O'Reilly.
And here is Matt O'Reilly over the free kick. He's going to deliver with a left foot on towards the penalty area. Carter Vickers goes up, gets a head on it. It's come off a Hearts shoulder, I think. And then it's out to this near side where Forrest will hack it clear. And then Hatate's missed it. And Lowry controls it on the chest. Lowry's driving towards the edge of the box, but Taylor's back. Good strength from the Celtic defender. Lowry's forced wide out to the left-hand side of the box. Tries to get away from Hatate and Taylor. Taylor under pressure, gets the ball and then hits off Lowry, out for a goal kick. Good defending from Greg Taylor. Great composure. But what a chance that was for Hearts. Mistake from Hatate, and Lowry was onto it.
He was onto it quick, but I mean, the end result was nothing. I think he had a wee bit more composure, maybe just waited a little bit longer to try and get support, but he tried to do a fancy flick behind his legs and give the ball away. It was good defending, and Taylor has to take credit for that.
6 played, Hearts 0, Celtic 1. Matt O'Reilly, wonderful left foot finish. Celtic throw in their own half to the feet of Hatate, who hits it first time up the field. Kai Rowles nudges it forward for Hearts, but it's a strong challenge from Johnson. Hearts want a free kick, they're not going to get it. It's played through from Maida, right inside the box. He's cut it in towards the penalty area. O'Reilly again was looking to get on the end of it, but this time the Hearts defenders got back and got a foot on it. And Hearts will clear his. Lowry looking to turn away from Johnson, who's just shoulder, really good strength, nudges him off the ball, and then he's put it out for a throw-in to Hearts in their own half. Lowry's been lively, but Celtic defenders not giving him too much time and space. Been physical with him. That's the challenge for Alex Lowry when you're stepping up, playing regularly in the first team. You've got to deal with that physical challenge.
Yeah, and just going back to that chance that came off. Obviously Johnson beaten, winning the ball and then springing Maeda. O'Reilly getting himself in the box again, and that energy to go from being almost like a hold midfield player alongside McGregor now, but getting himself forward in the great positions. That takes a little bit of understanding, timing of the run, but also the willingness to get there and get into the box. And when you're scoring goals, you'll continue to do it.
Celtic with a dream start here at Tynecastle, leading by a goal to nil. Hearts throw, and it's played across the back line. Here's Frankie Kent, and then there's a off the ball foul in the middle of the pitch on Cammy Devlin, who goes quickly with a free kick up to halfway. Civic on this right hand side collects, nudges it to Forrest. He's got jerseys around him, but he jinks inside. He's still got it. Alan Forrest squares it across in the centre circle to Kai Rolls. Over to Lowry on the left. He's played it inside to Cochrane. He's into the box, left hand side the box, fizzed across, right across goal, but there's no one in a maroon jersey to prod it in, and it goes right across and out to the other side. Still Hearts 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, a brilliant ball across the face of the goal by Cochrane. I was just waiting on Shanklin just appearing at the back post and tapping that home. I think he just put the brakes on and was hoping for a cutback rather than that ball flashing across the face of the goal, because normally he would have been there.
Absolutely, you're just expecting that all day long. It's what he does, the Hearts captain, although not so much this season. It's not without a goal since the opening day in the league. 7 without a goal all told. Plenty of time yet for him to get on the end of a cross. If First can deliver more like that. O'Reilly hits it back to Carter Vickers. The ball's bouncing. Good calm pass to Scales, who puts it along the Tynecastle turf to Taylor. Inside ball to Palma, is in his own half. Out to Taylor on the touchline. Taylor comes in field, left-footed pass back to Cameron Carter Vickers, who's in plenty of space, and that will give Celtic a few seconds to readjust. It's over halfway to O'Reilly, who's in a lot of space, and then he's played up the touchline to Maida, who's come in field. He's got the right-footed cross. It's too high for any of his teammates, and it's too long on the other side for Palma. So it'll go out for the Hearts throw-in on this far side. Palma applauds the cross.
Yeah, it was a nice little bit of movement in the middle of the pitch. Obviously Johnson right back coming into midfield, O'Reilly popping out into the right back position, and Carter Vickers playing him, and then he hit the space to release Maeda again. It wasn't a great cross, to be honest.
Do you not think Palma should have been in at the back post?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a great cross. I thought he overhit it.
Yeah, I mean, if Palma's 20 yards further ahead, he's tapping it in. But
well, if that's Leo Abada, that's exactly what he does. But obviously Leo Abada out injured until December by the look of it with that thigh problem. Palma has been good too in his last 2 games. Carter Vickers goes back to Joe Hart. Celtic will start again. And it looks like when Hearts don't have the ball, it's kind of Vargas who's coming in field and playing as a centre forward almost, and Celtic try and work it through, but it goes all the way to Xander Clark, the goalkeeper. Obviously good news for Hearts this week with Craig Gordon returning to training. Played in a bounce game against Spartans, came through that, and Stephen Naismith talking this week about obviously the chance for Craig Gordon to get back in the Scotland squad for the Euros next summer. 40 years old, he'll be 41 at the turn of the year.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he comes back from this injury and gets back to the level that he was at, and he could go to the Euros, that would be a wonderful, probably you could say twilight of his career, but he's done it so often. Brilliant.
Here's O'Reilly down the right hand touchline for Celtic. He's won a throw in through a ruck of bodies, most of which were wearing maroon. Celtic throw-in on the far side. The Champions League leaders leading by a goal to nil. 11 minutes played here at Tynecastle. Matt O'Reilly after just 4 minutes. Here's Scales, left-footed pass to Taylor. He's come in field, back to Scales, who made his Republic of Ireland debut. International break, got 2 caps. Defeat by Greece in qualifying, and the friendly win over Gibraltar.
Yeah, the big surprise for me, and now they actually played him left back. He's been playing left centre back or left of a 3 with Aberdeen for such a long time, and then they stick him in left back, which was a difficult first half for him.
here's Johnston, controls it on the chest in his own half, gives it to Maeda, tries to give it back to Johnston, but it's overhit. Shankland's come back and won that nicely, and he's given a pass out to the left-hand touchline. Cochrane, who's forced to check back by O'Reilly, gives it to Kai Rolls, who was also in action in international break, played at Wembley. Australia's friendly defeat by England. Scales steps in to make an interception, and it falls though for Alan Forrest. Right-footed pass over to Cochrane on the left-hand side. Back in field to Forrest, who looks for the run of Vargas, and he's found him. He's peeled out to the left-hand side of the box. Flag stays down. Vargas, he's got Carter Vickers for company. Goes back to Cochrane, who's right on the touchline. Moves it infield with the left foot to Lowry. Looks for the 1-2 with Devlin, but Devlin dilly-dallied a bit, and Hearts want the free kick, and it's not given. Hatate's challenging, still no whistle. Back to Lowry, edge of the box, he's still a long way out. Looks for the fizzed pass to the feet of Vargas, but it was miscontrolled by Vargas, and now Callum McGregor will take it out of defence for Celtic, gives it to Maeda. Rose has come across the cover really well, and gives it back to Xander Clark, the goalkeeper, who puts the boot through it, goes long. Scales goes down, it's bounced for Taylor, gives the pass up to Palma, who's dropped short, and slight pass in field for Tate, but Devlin straight on it, illegally, says referee Nick Walsh, and you can hear the ire of the Hearts fans. Free kick though for Celtic, just almost 10 yards from halfway in their own half, and McGregor is looking for the run of Kyogo with a left foot, but it wasn't a great pass, and Kent comes across, gets there, and Sibbett can't keep it in on this near touchline Celtic throw, and it is Celtic, 13 minutes played, leading by a goal to nil at Tynecastle. Taylor with the throw-in, he's assessing his options. Palma's there, Hatate is also there, and O'Reilly's coming across, and it's the intended target, and it's intercepted, but and then Hearts get the throw-in, comfortably seen out. And how do Hearts build themselves back into this game, Craig Levine?
It's to be patient, I think, and I mean, Vargas is doing a good job, actually. I think he's stretching the game for Hearts. We need to try and maybe find Shankland in those pockets, because he's been in 2 or 3 and haven't quite managed to get the ball to him.
Hatate steps across Shankland, and Celtic have won it. Good tackle by Cammy. Devlin wins it back, and then Hearts come forward. There's a ball for Vargas. He's on the right-hand side of the box. Puts the shot in. It's low to the near post. Joe Hart gets down, puts 2 strong hands there behind for a Hearts corner.
He's a bit of a handful. Vargas up front at the moment. He's making some lovely little runs down the side of the centre, and between them and getting in there. His timing is perfect, and that was a good strike. Just, I don't think he was ever going to beat Joe Hart in the near post.
No chance. But I mean, you do get a corner out of it.
Yeah, it was an ambitious effort, but he struck it really well, and it was on target. Joe Hart did his job. Hearts corner, their first of the game. Alex Lowry is going to take. Vargas is offering the short option, but Lowry is going to ping this into the penalty area with the right foot. It's on towards the penalty spot. It drops for Kent. Is it Neuvenhoff? Drops for in the box, but Celtic were onto it with a block.
It's a good block by Liam Scales, actually, because he was under pressure. He was going to ground a little bit. He was out-muscled, and he just got his body in and made a good tackle at the end up. But it was a good chance for Hearts from that corner.
It was Kent, in fact, too. Got something onto it, and here he is back in his own half as Hearts try and work their way up the field. Had some joy so far. Want to be a possession team under Stephen Naismith, and Maeda's closed down Cochrane. They just can't regather the ball on the touchline. And that's what Dyson Maeda likes to do. He doesn't give you a second, and Cochrane obviously is out for over a month. He'll need to adjust quickly.
He was a lucky boy there, wasn't he, that Maeda couldn't quite get the ball under control.
Yeah, absolutely, because if he did, he had loads of space on that right-hand side. Kyogo was up with him. Hearts survive that one, and Cochrane will take the throw-in midway through his own half. Flings it up the touchline. Vargas, lovely touch into Shankland, who's taken it under his spell, but he's under pressure, loses it. Hearts get it back, and it's broken for Palma in the centre circle. And back to Greg Taylor, onto Scales with a bright orange and highlighter yellow boots. Back to Taylor, who's checked back, and then Vargas goes down to close down Scales, who touches it away, but he's not giving him any peace. But Scales gets it away low to Palma on this left-hand side. Onto Hatate, who's on halfway, facing his own goal, getting to McGregor. Hearts' intensity is good, but it's down the touchline for McGregor. He's got Shankland and Subic in front of him. Comes inside easily. Hatate slips it through for Taylor in the box. Left edge. Taylor with a right-footed shot. Blocked. It's going to break over to the far side. Maeda goes after it. Gets it to O'Reilly. Right-hand corner of the box. He's helped it infield to Johnson, who's controlled it on the shoulder, and he tries to keep it in on the byline and hook it back across, but it ran away from him behind for a goal kick. It's Hearts 0, Celtic won, 16 played at Tynecastle.
Yeah, it was nice movement. Initial build-up from Celtic was very good. The final pass, though,
Hatate, wasn't it? He just didn't quite get it right.
Yeah, he just lay it into the path of Greg Taylor, who had made the run forward down the left inside channel, and he was right through in goal. If the pass was in front of him, it was behind him.
Long goal kick from Xander Clark. Scales wins the header, only as far as Devlin. Here's Shanklin on the right-hand side. Lays it back to Toby Civic, on to Frankie Kent, who I think is safe to say of Hearts' summer recruits has perhaps been the one who is bedded in quickest. It's a pass from Civic infield to Shanklin. He's got it, tries to play it. Forrest in behind. Greg Taylor watched that all the way, and he's come across, he's gone down. And Nick Walsh puts the whistle to the lips. Is he going to give a corner, a goal kick, free kick? Free kick, yeah.
I'll tell you, Pat, just a point about Taylor. I mean, the improvement in him in the last 2 or 3 years has been quite sensational, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, I think he's grown in confidence because of the way that I think initially Ange Postecoglou wanted him to play in that sort of inverted fullback, but it's also his defensive qualities. He's got a bit of pace about him, and he gets forward into great positions, but he gets himself back quickly. That's the key for me. You know, he doesn't dwell on it when he does something good in the forward area.
And here's Kye Rolls out of his penalty to the left-hand side. It's given away all the way through. The long pass, Carter Vickers mops up. Hearts just the one defeat in the last 5 games. Is away at St Mirren. It's been a decent patch, a wee bit of a revival for Hearts. I think they want more. Certainly the fans here want more. Pass forward for Kyogo, loses it, but only as far as Hatate for Hearts. And now here's Palma inside the box, left-hand side. He's going to run at Civic, tries to go to the byline. Civic recovers well. He's forced Palma back. He then comes out and tries to flick it back into the box. It's straight to maroon jersey, and then it's broken up the pitch for Shanklin. Tries to head it towards Vargas. Scales let that run across his body very nicely, and Celtic have it back under control, and they're in control on the scoreboard. 1-0 up, courtesy of Matt O'Reilly's goal after just 4 minutes. From a Hearts point of view, it was 0-2. Oh, so easy. I mean, the finish wasn't easy, but the way he was free in the box certainly was. Here's Devlin, goes back to Cochrane. It's not the best pass. Maeda closes down, and then that's a poor pass. Kyogo won't get there though, and Kent has to send it long. It's just a bit scrappy from Hearts. Then it's lost to Johnston for Celtic. O'Reilly lifts it for Maeda. Great touch in from the right hand corner of the box. He's going to shoot with the left foot. Beaten away by Clark. Celtic corner. Good intent from Maeda.
Yeah, it looked like it was on target. Pat, would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
The near post, and he's done enough just to get across and push the ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, Hearts just a little bit sloppy at the back, and you know, nobody taking responsibility, and then
playing too safe at times, Pat. Yeah. They can go forward, but instead they choose to go backwards.
Short corner, McGregor on the edge of the box now. Left foot goes with the right foot, blocked. And then it's going to break for Lowry. He's got a long distance to travel. He's tried to play it up the line to Shanklin, but again, Celtic get back. It's Alistair Johnson, good pace to get there before Shanklin, and knocks it back to Joe Hart. Still Hearts 0, Celtic 1, coming up to the midway point in this first half at Tynecastle. And as you expect, this ground, atmospheric, noisy, fans right on top. It's so frantic, and then Cochrane wins it, and it's given away the free kick. Cochrane won the ball, and then it's Palma who's switched wings with Maeda, has gone in after losing the ball, and Hearts free kick on the left-hand touchline.
Yeah, I think the last ball they played in from almost quite a similar area. It was a really good ball, and Joe Hart came and took it. Celtic holding a very high line, but it was a decent ball into an area. If you get the timing of the run, coming maybe late and breaking that line of Celtic's defence.
Lowry on the far side puts in the right foot across. Again, it's towards a penalty spot. It's headed away to the edge of the box. It falls for Vargas on the edge, tries the low shot. It's blocked. Deflects all the way back to Devlin. Right-footed pass across to Cochrane. He's in the centre circle. He's closed down by Palma. Hit us off Palma, and it's played in to the feet of Palma by Hatate, and then he lays it off to the left for O'Reilly. He's going to try the left-footed cross all the way to the back on the edge of the box where Kyogo's waiting. Tries the cross. Did that strike an arm? There was an outstretched one, I think, from Cochrane. That's Celtic, not too many appeals. It's blocked. On we go. VAR will be checking that in the background, and it's on to O'Reilly. Infield to Palma. Comes infield, right-footed pass, and he's driven it past the near post harmlessly. Hearts survive that wave of attack, still trailing by a 1-0.
Yeah, to me, I don't know what you think, Craig, but it looks like obviously Hearts have got the 4 attackers, and they're leaving then the other almost 6 to deal with to deal with Celtic, and those 4 stay out of it and hope to catch them on the counter attack a little bit.
Taylor wins the header from the goal kick. Palma puts it with the studs back to McGregor, onto Taylor. Good strong challenge on the slide from Cammy Devlin. Blocks it out for a throw into Celtic just towards the halfway line. And Greg Taylor has stolen a few yards. Reckon a few of the fans around us in the Wheatfield stand here at Tynecastle. And then Hatate goes down under a wee off the ball challenge from Devlin, nothing in it. On we go. Taylor takes the throw and gets it back. Scales, it's all the way back to the goalkeeper Hart. Celtic being pressed. Vargas frantically chasing after Carter Vickers. O'Reilly gets it, gives it to Hart, across the back to Scales. Scales looks for the ball forward, he gives it to Taylor on the left hand side, back to McGregor, who goes back into the Celtic penalty area, and Carter Vickers right footed pass to Johnson. Hearts are pressing high, it's up the touchline to Maeda, it misses him. Neuvenhoff tries to nudge it through, but it hit off Cochrane, and now it's given away. Maeda again pounced, but rolls, makes the tackle, and it goes out for a throw. Celtic take it really quickly. O'Reilly gets it back from Maeda. Here's Hatate, middle of the pitch, midway through the Hearts half. Hatate gets it back from McGregor. He's put it out to the right hand side, and O'Reilly's totally free. Neuvenhoff goes across, it's in field to Hatate, cuts it across, and it's into the back of the net. Maeda is there to tap it home. The Hearts players are looking for an offside flag. It isn't coming. Celtic mutedly kind of celebrate, but for now that goal will certainly stand. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, I think it's a good goal. I think it is. I don't think he was offside. I could be wrong, but certainly it was a goal built up from really good passing. The vision of Hatate to almost play that ball, almost a disguised pass out to O'Reilly.
That part's right, Pat. But Neuvenhoff gave the ball away under no pressure whatsoever to start Celtic's attack.
Yeah,
and he didn't track the runner for the first goal, and he's given the ball away in a situation where he's blindly passed the ball back the way to give it to Celtic.
Well, they're checking for a possible offside. I don't know if you heard that across the tannoy in the background, but it's come up on the screen as well. Yeah. They are checking this for Hearts. I mean, the way almost Celtic didn't celebrate either. It was a bizarrely muted into a goal. The fans kind of jumped about a bit, but certainly Celtic weren't too emphatic. Let's go to our touchline reporter Brian McLaughlin, who can maybe bring us, he's maybe got a monitor, had a second look at it. Brian.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, and I think this goal will be given, because I think that Maeda is actually behind the ball when the ball is passed across. Yeah, and the referee Nick Walsh has just pointed to the spot, and yeah, the goal has been given.
You could hear the Celtic fans, the 570 of them or so, in the school end, in the corner of the school end at Tynecastle, celebrating, jumping about, goading the home fans. And Hearts are 2 down, and we've only played 23 minutes at Tynecastle. Celtic with a perfect opening quarter to this game, and as you say, Packy, it's exactly what they're after, that kind of play, playing out the press and getting forward and putting Hearts under pressure.
Yeah, and I think initial, first 5-7 minutes was very frantic. Celtic just needed to get their foot in the ball, pass it, and I think since that they've done it quite well. With Hearts getting the odd opportunity, I've got to say, that one went across the 6-yard box was a big chance for them. Good runs from Vargas, high up the pitch, but I think Celtic have just taken command. Obviously the 2 goals will build their confidence now, and they'll unless they lose something fairly quickly, they'll grow in confidence now, and the passing will be much more evident.
Celtic 2-0 in front, and they have a throw in just over halfway. And Hearts, I mentioned that miserable record against Celtic, 3-43, and already it's a mountain to climb if they're going to change that statistic to those wins coming under a certain Craig Levein. It's been a joyless experience for the most part, coming up against Celtic for Hearts in recent times. Can they turn that around? But it's the league leaders who have the ball here, with Palm on the left hand side. He's going to run at Civic, knocks it past him, he retrieves it, but Civic showed good pace to get back, puts a foot in, he's going to pass it back into the box. Kent comes across and clears it. Got a lot of height on that clearance, not a huge amount of distance. It's up to midway through the half.
He's got to do better. Sorry, Craig, he's got to do better. It's just laid in. The pitch is perfect. Play it up the line, and he just kicks it away. It's like a rugby.
I don't think he wanted it. I don't think he wanted the ball. That's the problem. He didn't make himself available, and when it came to him, he was caught by surprise. And then it's just a slash at it. and didn't get any distance whatsoever.
Hatate's giving it away to Vargas, who's over halfway. He's looking for a bit of support. He's got Lowry to his left, but McGregor gets across, covers the ground so quickly to shut down the pass. It's out to Cochrane. Lowry with a lovely flick round the corner, but Hatate gets there first out of Cochrane. Then he wins the ball in the stretch. Hatate at the second attempt, and Carter Vickers has it. And Celtic can't play out this time. Johnson up against Cochrane, gives it away. Cochrane then loses to Maeda, who just knocks it off Neuvenhoff. And it's out for the throw-in on the far side. Hearts 0, Celtic 2, 26.5 minutes played at Tynecastle. And Celtic well on course to re-establish that 7-point gap at the summit of the Scottish Premiership. And there's a pause here, not sure for what.
Yeah, there's an injury. I think it's nothing.
We're on the go now, but so we pause there briefly. Celtic take the throw, and here's Carter Vickers. Oh, and he shimmied away. He lost his foot in there. He was tripped. According to Nick Walsh, the referee, it was a lovely turn in the first instance. Free kick short to Hart, who plays it for McGregor in his own penalty area. He's dropped right in, and Hart gives it to Carter Vickers on the far side, and Hart's go across. Vargas with a really good sliding challenge to make sure Carter Vickers couldn't play out. And that's what the home fans want to see. They want to see them, their players, putting more pressure on Celtic as they look to play out from their own box. Throw in, Johnson gets it back, tried to nudge it away to O'Reilly, but it's blocked again, and Celtic will have a throw in line with the edge of their own penalty area on the far side. And Hearts trying to just hem them in, put pressure on, force a mistake. Throw into Kyogo, helps it up into the air. Maeda controls it on the chest. He's got two Hearts players for company, but he still gets it away to Johnson, who's giving it to Scales on the edge of the box. Then over to Taylor, who's taking a touch. He's giving it back infield to Scales, under pressure from Shanklin, back to Hart, who takes a touch, and then low. It's a brilliant pass for O'Reilly up to the centre circle, and then he's giving it out to the right hand side of Maeda, who's on the run. He's got space if he can pick out a cross. Goes for the short pass to Hatate, who's on the byline. He's got Neuvenhoff at his back. He's got no space to work with. Gives it back to Maeda, chips it to Johnson, who's helped it back across the box. Kyogo can't take it. Nodded with a head by Palma, and it breaks for Sibic, who gets it away to the halfway line. Scales plays it to Taylor. Taylor, infield to McGregor. He's got space. Takes a little pause, Callum McGregor, with a captain's armband round his bicep. Here's Palma, left-hand side, infield to O'Reilly. Celtic 25 yards from goal, and it's out to the left-hand touchline, and Palma back to O'Reilly, who opened the scoring on 4 minutes, added 2 on 23 by Daisen Maeda. Celtic really knocking it about, keeping Hearts at bay. Carter Vickers in the centre circle. Maeda again thinks about the run, but drops short, collects the ball. He's up against Cochrane. He's going to go outside of him, as he loves to do. He's going to get the cross away, headed to the edge of the box by Rolls. Johnson wins it back, then McGregor wins it off Lowry, twisting and turning, gives it back to Carter Vickers, who's under pressure from Vargas. He's going to get the free kick, and Celtic take it quickly. They're starting to get into their stride now, the champions.
Yeah, well, it's that movement off the ball, allowing them to play that one-touch pass. It's very hard to close down, very hard to work as a unit trying to close them down when you have that movement and that passing ability.
And also, Pat, as well, there's the negativity of being 2 goals behind as well. That's, you know, playing in the Hearts players' minds as well. Shanklin
receives the throw, and Palma wins it, and then he gives it to Kyogo. Gets it straight back, left-hand side of the pitch. He's trying to cross it, but he's straight to Frankie Kent, who heads it to Shanklin, who heads it back to Sibic, who clears it down the pitch. And Hearts fans just really frustrated, their team unable to keep the ball. Bang on halfway with the throw-in, and then Hearts ball boys throwing another ball onto the pitch. Shanklin hacks it off. Taylor takes it. He's stolen a few yards again, Greg Taylor. He's gesturing for options. Hatate comes short, goes away again. Palma runs back to and Hearts will get the throw in on halfway.
Probably that's been the biggest weakness for Celtic, the throw-ins at the moment. They haven't been able to keep possession from their own throw-ins.
Sibic is going to take this for Hearts. Neuvenhoff is not had a great first half an hour of this game. So back to Xander Clark, the goalkeeper, who's not had a huge amount to do other than pick the ball out of his net twice. He did have that one save from Maeda. But when Celtic have got into a good position, boy, have they made it count. And here's Cochrane, Shanklin, Hearts in the Celtic half now, but not by much. Lowry trying to come in from the left-hand side. Then back to Kai Rolls, across to Kent, who goes back to the goalkeeper. Clark, and Celtic will just push up to halfway and try and squeeze Hearts. Kyogo goes to meet Kai Rolls, gets the pass away, but it's given away straight to Hatate. He's moving out to the right hand side where Kyogo waits, collects the ball. It's a low cross and O'Reilly couldn't collect it. It's come out to this far side. Taylor's going to get there ahead of Forrest, and it's nudged behind. Taylor got there first, but he was running at such pace that he could only force it out for a Hearts throw in, and it's near side. 31 and a half played. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, and that's a big difference also. You know, when Hearts get the ball at the back, there's a nervousness. They can't build it and work it through the thirds of the pitch. I think they're better probably going long there up to Shanklin.
They don't want to take any risks because they're too behind the pack and they're not feeling confident. But all that's happening is it end up going backwards and backwards and backwards, and Celtic are set in their shape, and it's very difficult to go from the defensive line, pass your way through Celtic and get opportunities.
McGregor goes short to Hatate, who's forced back. He was facing away from his own goal, gives it to Carter Vickers in the centre circle across the scales, who's nudged late by Shanklin. Free kick just inside the Hearts half. Again, Celtic go quickly. It wasn't exactly on the spot, which Nick Walsh is happy with, and Celtic will have it at the back anyway through Carter Vickers. It is interesting when I saw Hibs at Ibrox yesterday, when teams try and play a bit against the Old Firm, it's difficult to either give it away, as Hearts have just done here, through Hatate out to the corner of the box of Maeda, tried to give it back to O'Reilly, who again was making the run into the box, but the pass was behind him. It's won back by Johnston, and then Hearts give it away yet again. Sliding tackle from Hatate out to O'Reilly on the right hand side. Johnston, the right back, plays it through the lines for Hatate, looks for the little darting run of Maeda. It's intercepted, back to McGregor, then he gives it away. Scales comes in with a challenge ahead of Vargas. It's up in the air, controlled well by Shanklin. He's on the touchline, he's going to look for that ball in behind, up the touchline, and the referee's whistle is gone. That ball out on the far side perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's just bent out and come back in.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell from here, isn't it? But yeah, Celtic, or Hearts, Celtic throw in on the halfway line, and they lead by 2-0. But yeah, when teams try and play against you, it's always that thing where if you're too safe, you invite the pressure on. But if you try and play, you're almost causing bother for yourself. It's hard balance to get right for teams.
You sometimes get in a situation where you're thinking negatively, so you don't actually look for the forward pass, and that's what I think's happening right at this minute in time. They're playing too safe,
and it has been an issue for Hearts. They've had a lot of possession, third most in the league, but haven't done enough with it. Here's Celtic, Hatate, he's played in Kyogo behind, through on goal, blasts it wide, flag up, and this time the Hearts players appealed again for offside, and this time they're proven correct, and they finish for Kyogo. I don't know if he knew he was offside anyway, but it wasn't a great one.
Yeah, I think he probably did, give him the benefit of the doubt, because it was well off target. But it was that movement again. Hatate found himself in between the lines. Just Kyogo went a little bit too early, and that slide pass straight through the heart of Hearts' defence.
Long from Xander Clark. Shanklin wins the header. Infield, O'Reilly's back. It's the left-footed clearance down the pitch to Frankie Kent. Right foot, side of the boot, up in the air. Scales header. Kyogo lets it run across him, and then Hatate's touch is a bit poor, and Hearts will turn this over. Now here's Alan Forrest. Can he pick up the run of Lowry? Wasn't the best pass, and Carter Vickers intercepted. Forrest has it back. He's going to dribble out to the left-hand side. He's trying to get away from Carter Vickers, but that's easier said than done. The Celtic defender gets a foot in, recovers, gives it infield to Johnson, and then plays it away up the right-hand touchline, and Hearts will have to start again through Kai Rolls. Left foot, pass to Cochrane on the touchline. Infield back to Rolls. Again, it's Hearts just forced backwards all the way back to the goalkeeper. Kyogo goes to meet Xander Clark. He has to put the foot through it, and Shanklin's up against Scales, and the defender doesn't win the header. It bounces, but it bounces for Taylor, who helps it back to Joe Hart. Shanklin for company, but gives it comfortably enough to Scales inside the box. Taylor, Scales again. Celtic 35 played, leading by 2-0. Matt O'Reilly on 4 minutes, Maeda on 23. League leaders, champions, in control of this game, although Hearts have had moments, but they've been few and far between. And here's Kai Rolls on the edge of his own penalty area.
Yeah, see, that's a problem for Hearts now. The left centre back is the ball. There's no movement from the Hearts players, so he's got to have the square back to the goalkeeper, and eventually he's going to come in under pressure.
Cochrane, he's under pressure from Maeda. Neuvenhoff round the corner. Lowry goes down, gets the free kick from Johnston. Sarcastic jeers from the home support as they get the decision, and it'll be a free kick to Hearts midway through their own half. But it is a puzzler for Stephen Naismith as to how his side get a foothold in this game. It's not like Celtic are completely and utterly dominant. They've been, maybe not been as controlled in possession as Brendan Rodgers would like, but they've done the business.
The second goal has changed the game. I mean, I thought Hearts were still in with a chance, but looking at it just now, it's very difficult to envisage a situation where Hearts get back into this game. The way the game's going.
Sorry, Craig Taylor wins the header. Hearts, it's good perseverance as they win the ball in the Celtic half. Shankland, though, he's forced all the way back towards the centre circle. He's in the centre circle. Palmer's still all over him. Good turn, though, from Lauren Shankland. He gives it back to Kai Rolls. Warm applause for the Hearts captain. Here's Lowry on the left-hand side. Tries to play it to Cochrane, he wants it back. Johnston makes the block, it breaks for O'Reilly. Then McGregor round the corner back to Johnston. Johnston with the right-footed pass, it's poor straight to Neuvenhoff. It's a really poor touch, and Hatate comes away with it. Over to Taylor, who crosses the halfway line, and he's played it in front of Lewis Palma on the left-hand touchline. Cibic's going to come across. Palma plays it infield to Taylor, who's made the run, goes down, but Devlin with a good shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, and it goes behind. Craig Taylor doesn't think it was a good challenge. He felt he was impeded. Behind for a goal kick. Hearts 0, Celtic 2, 8 minutes to the break.
It was good tracking from Devlin, wasn't it? Because again,
it was, and it was his central defensive midfield partner who again gave the ball away.
That's right. Yeah, frustration for Hearts, and it's a goal kick. We've got both centre halves in the box offering a short option, but Celtic cut that out, and Clark goes long again. Shankland wins the header. He wins the second ball as well with a touch. He's nowhere near the goal, and Palma cuts out his pass back to Cibic. Hearts throw just over into Celtic territory in front of the stand here, the Wheatfield stand. Cibic, 2 hands on the ball. Again, he wants an option, gives it to Neuvenhoff, who looks like a player who's maybe a bit struggling with confidence because he was back again to Kent. Rolls. Maeda's come from miles away to close him down, and it's forced back to Xander Clark, and that's a poor pass out on the far side. And Hearts, they're at 6s and 7s at the moment as they try and play their way through Celtic. It's back to Johnston. Throw in. Maeda controls on the chest, but it gets away from him. Rolls manages to clear it out the box, and Hearts have the ball, but it's prodded up towards halfway. Carter Vickers collects it, then gets it again as it hits off a Hearts player, and then his switch of play for Palma goes out for a throw in this near side. You can hear the groans, Craig Levine, from the home fans as Hearts just really struggle on the ball at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lack of confidence, and that last situation, Cochrane had to come deeper to receive the ball to make the pass easier, but he didn't do it. And then, of course, any margin for error that you have disappears altogether, and you give the ball away.
Devlin back to Cochrane, back to Xander Clark. Kyogo closes down. Clark puts the foot through it, up into the air. Shankland misses the ball, but he'll get it back after good work from Forrest. Another good tackle from McGregor, and Hearts again have the throw-in on this near side. Highlights, of course, on Sports Scene of this game later, as well as Saturday's limited action, just the 2 Premiership games. Live BBC Scotland's 7:15 on the iPlayer as well, and you'll get Goals Plus on there as well if you just want the goals from the weekend in the Premiership. Midweek action as well to come in Europe. Celtic, Atletico Madrid, Rangers in Prague to play Sparta Prague, and Aberdeen at home to PAOK. And here come Hearts, and it's a long ball which is rather aimless, and all the way through to Joe Hart. You'll have coverage of those 3 European ties as we reach the midway part of the group stage campaigns for the 3 Scottish clubs. Here's Greg Taylor for Celtic, back to Liam Scales in the penalty area, cross goal to Joe Hart, who's going to go after the ball. Gives out to Carter Vickers, just peeled to the edge, and brilliant feet from the Celtic defender in a tight situation to get away from Vargas. Wonderful composure, and Taylor tries the ball for Hatate. Devlin cuts it out, he gives it infield to Cibic, who's on halfway. Forward for Lowry, tries the first time pass. McGregor gets the head to it, and then another pass in behind. Is nowhere near anyone and goes wide for a goal kick. 40.5 minutes played. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Yeah, very disjointed, isn't it? I mean, you're looking for Hearts to get back into this game, to play with more aggression and more passes in a forward manner, and it just isn't happening. And people have stopped looking for the ball, which puts enormous pressure on the guy who's actually holding the ball at the time. So, yeah, this situation isn't going to resolve itself. I don't know if Stephen needs to make some substitutions at half time.
Cochrane, left-hand side, left-footed pass low, and he's found Vargas, who's trying to get away from Carter Vickers. He thought he had, but Carter Vickers with a wonderful sliding challenge across, concedes the corner. But what a perfectly timed challenge, because I thought Vargas was away from him there.
Yeah, listen, that's the defender he is. He's got that bit of pace, turn of pace, but he nearly got done on that occasion. That ball down the channel is causing Celtic a few slight problems. The fullbacks obviously are pushed forward. That's the area where you can hit, and Vargas has shown an aptitude to run in there, and he's decent. He's got a wee decent turn.
Well, a goal here would change the complexion of this game and the atmosphere here at Tynecastle. It's going to be Cochrane to take on the far side, left-footed, flashed in, it's over, Sibic. Celtic get ahead on it, it's still in there though, bouncing about and then ahead, I think maybe from Sibic in the end, into the arms of Joe Hart. Hart's, well, a couple of corners that have been tough to deal with for Celtic, but just not quite getting the efforts they need. Celtic look to play out. O'Reilly goes back to Carter Vickers, and then for Celtic it's just about trying to maintain that lead, and it's Kyogo in behind. It's come off a Hearts defender, so the flag stays down, and then he's down in the box and he's trying to play it on the deck, and then the flag does go up, and he did look a mile offside.
He was down in an offside position, but maybe when the ball was played first time, but it certainly came off a Hearts defender and played him right into a very dangerous position.
Shanklin collects, he was free in the centre circle, he gives it off to Vargas, who's come right into the middle of the pitch midway through the Celtic half, gives it to Forrest, in away to the left, Neuvenhoff, one to Cochrane, out to Lowry on the left hand side, drops the shoulder, comes in field, Cochrane, again it's back to Rolls, along to Frankie Kent, right-footed pass along the turf to Sibic. It's a good first-time pass in field to Devlin, and out again to Shanklin on this right-hand side. He's got Scales right across. Shanklin again forced back. It's blocked by Palma as he tried to get the pass away, and then he gets it to Taylor, who puts the left-footed hook away up to halfway. Frankie Kent will collect, gives it to Sibic again on the right-hand side. Hearts, can they conjure something with 2 minutes plus stoppage time left of this first half? They trail by 2-0. They need inspiration from somewhere. Here's Kent, closed down by Hatate, goes long to Shanklin, who tries to touch it away from Scales, but Scales gets the better of him. Taylor collects up to Hatate, again gives the ball away as he looked for O'Reilly. Lowry has it, looking to sneak across to the left-hand side, but it's intercepting O'Reilly. Looks for Palma again, but the pass is short. Kent steps in, gets there in front, and Hearts can counter. Here's Sibic, he's got a bit of space over halfway, midway through the Celtic half. He's on the right-hand side, needs support, gives it infield to Forrest. Again, O'Reilly gets a foot in and Forrest is forced back. He's now got Palma for company, all the way back to Kent in the Hearts half. Takes a touch on the ball, squares it for Kai Rolls. Left foot from Rolls over to Lowry. Left-hand side, again he looks for the pass and behind for Cochrane, but it's miles away from Alex Cochrane behind for a goal kick. And you can see what Hearts are trying to do at Paki, but it's poor execution.
Well, it was a better couple of minutes for them, to be honest. A wee bit more possession of the ball, and they passed it from back to middle and got into areas, but they didn't actually. In the final bit is the most important bit, and they didn't put a cross into the box when they should have.
That's the bit that you get confidence from.
Yeah, and that was a poor execution from Lowry at the end up there, and give Celtic back possession, which you don't want.
We're going to be one added minute at the end of this first half, which has been a fantastic first half from a Celtic point of view. Hearts, can they find a goal back? Here's Lowry, midway through the Celtic half. He's got a lot of room to run into. He looks up, looks for the pass to Forrest in the middle of the pitch. It's blocked, it's come to Devlin, then Lowry looks to give it back to Devlin over the top. Devlin goes after it. Can he keep it in? He can. No, he can't. The flag goes up. Fine for a goal kick. And Celtic will look to eat that up and get to half-time with their lead intact.
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like Lowry needs to do something to impress people. You know, all he needs to do is shoot there. I mean, he's 25 yards from goal. He's got a direct sight of goal. Just shoot.
And it's kind of almost bobbling up for him, so he can hit it on that volley. You know, it was there to be hit, and he tries a kind of almost ridiculous pass that was cut out.
Yeah, goal and assist in his last 3 games, so he is a confident player. Scored for the 21s in an international break as well from the spot against Malta, but yeah, that one wasn't one of his best. The Rangers loanee. Hearts throw in on the far side, and what will probably be the last act of this first half. I make it 5 seconds and we're done in terms of the 1 added minute, and the throw-in comes in and the half-time whistle goes, and the home fans really not happy with their team's performance. They played in fits and starts, but it's been Celtic's half, and they didn't have to wait long for the opening goal. It came through Matt O'Reilly, a lovely pass, lovely chipped ball into the box. He peeled away from Neuvenhoff. He took it wonderfully outside the post on his left foot, swept it across Xander Clark for his 6th goal of the season. He's a man banging form, and it was a perfect start for Celtic, and they've not really looked back since then, and eventually got the second goal. 23 minutes, good work down the right hand side. They kept possession, they played out from the back. Eventually Atati cut it across goal, and Daizen Maeda flung himself at it and forced it over the line for number 2. Hearts, well, there's been no shortage of endeavour. They've closed Celtic down, they've had a few dangerous corners. Cochrane had a brilliant cross from the left hand side which no one could turn in inside the 6-yard box. Shanklin couldn't get on the end of it. Vargas has had a shot that was well saved by Joe Hart, but it's more been huff and puff from Hearts. Celtic firmly in control at Tynecastle. They're on course to go 7 points clear once again at half-time. It is Hearts 0, Celtic 2.
Hearts versus Celtic.
What a strike!
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. We're midway through the encounter at Tynecastle. It is Celtic are heading to yet another unbeaten run in this fantastic start to the campaign. 2-0 up thanks to the goals from O'Reilly and Maeda. Highlights, remember, tonight, 7:15 BBC Scotland channel. You get extended highlights from this one, plus the action from the 2 matches yesterday. Kilmarnock beating Livingston, Rangers beating Hibernian. We'll look back on those games a little bit later on. And a pointer to another busy week. Monday, SWPL highlights, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And that will include the win that Rangers recorded a little bit earlier, 2-1. Coming from behind to go clear at the top of the table against their city rivals. So SWPL highlights tomorrow at 7. The Scottish Football Podcast every day, Monday to Friday. Listen out for that wherever you pick up your podcasts. And then a trio of sports sounds. Tuesday night, the rearranged Premiership encounter between Dundee and Ross County. Wednesday, it's Champions League action, Celtic against Atletico Madrid. And Thursday, it's a European double bill. The Europa League, Sparta Prague against Rangers, followed by Conference League, Aberdeen against PAOK. Join us from 5:05 on Thursday evening. And then the week rounding off with live coverage in the BBC Scotland channel. Netherlands against the Scottish women's national team. That's the Women's National League. Sports scene kicking off that night at 7:30. So it is 2-0 for Celtic. Got to say, Hearts started the game pretty well. Craig Levein, they had a couple of opportunities, caused Celtic 1 or 2 nervous moments, I guess, in the opening 14-15 minutes. But well, Celtic have just done what Celtic so often do, haven't they?
Yes. What time was the first goal? It was very early, wasn't it?
The 4th minute. But even after that, Hearts had a couple of moments themselves where they might have got a goal.
They did. They showed more intent in the first sort of 10-15 minutes of the match than they've done in the last half hour. I think the second goal has had a lot to do with that. I think the heads have gone down a little bit. I think that both Devlin and Vargas have done really well. Vargas is running in behind at every opportunity and stretching the Celtic defence. And I think Devlin's been Devlin. You know, he's been charging about in that midfield, making tackles and anticipating second balls. So, but it's hard to win a game with 2 players, you know.
Yeah, so I was going to say, you've highlighted Devlin, but I think it's fair to say that had you been the Hearts manager, Callum Neuvenhoff would not be appearing for the second half, yeah?
A little bit harsh, but in my angry days, probably. Right, yeah. He's had a terrible first half. It really has. And Matt O'Reilly ran off him for the first goal. He's also ran off him another twice, but the ball didn't arrive at O'Reilly. And then he's given the ball away for the second goal, and he's given the ball away on numerous occasions. It just looks like he's really lacking confidence, and that's very difficult when you're in the sort of the engine room of the team. You need to be able to rely on people in there, and just at this minute in time, his confidence looks shot to me. And he's not adding anything to the team.
Yeah, Hearts have certainly slipped away, Pat, after what was a lively. At 6. The finish was a finish of a man absolutely brimming with confidence, wasn't it?
It was a beautiful finish, first time finish back there. It was a good pass into his path, and he knew exactly what he was doing. High in confidence. But what he's doing is he's working from a very deep position at times because he has to, and that's been again maybe change a slight position of him in relation to when he was under Ange. He was playing very, very high and staying high, and now he's asked to go a little bit deeper at times. But he's still making those runs into the box. The timing of those runs is magnificent, and he's got the energy to do it. That's the point, and then he'll get back into position again. So that's what you were talking about.
Can we talk about the finish, because that's a really, really difficult ball to it's a flighted ball. There wasn't an awful lot of pace on it. He's got to get the contact absolutely perfect. He's waiting on the ball dropping over his left shoulder, and to keep it on target in that situation is really difficult. It just looks quite a simple goal, but there's so many technical things he has to get right there. It was a wonderful finish.
Yeah, and if your confidence is down, you don't finish that. But his confidence is so high at the moment.
Yeah, so Connor Scully scored a very similar goal for Cove Rangers just a few weeks ago. Very, very classy indeed. Amazing. We talked about VAR beforehand, and the second goal, Hatate the low cross, Maida taps in. You're looking at that thinking, my goodness, that is touch and go. I've just seen where the line was drawn. He was about a yard onside. And it's amazing, because you would have just, your gut instinct would be, woof, that's got to be close. So there you go. I don't know if the flag would have gone up had there not been VAR.
I was hoping he wasn't going to miss it, Richard, because I've seen him miss a few from that position.
He did,
hasn't he?
He did. No, he made sure he got in. And as Craig said, Pat, that's made all the difference. Celtic are now just strolling through it, aren't they?
Yeah, and as you know, watch some of their passing, one-touch passing there, and trying to see if Hearts could get a ball off them, and they couldn't at times. And the big difference for me is when you look at it at the back compared to what Hearts do at the back. Hearts try to pass the ball out of the back, but the problem is that they haven't got the confidence, and the players aren't moving for them. Haven't got a movement for them. Sorry.
I can hear you probably. You're getting a bit of jip. Are you from a supporter?
Not me. It's not me.
No, it's me, Richard, as usual.
Oh, really? That's a surprise.
Yeah, they're blaming.
I don't know what I've done this time.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think we can
Anyway,
we can absolutely say that Craig is
let's go back to the
blameless.
point I was making.
Yeah.
Let's go back to football and let's talk about what I was saying. The Hearts don't have the confidence to build up at the back. They're trying to. They haven't got a movement. But when you watch Celtic, they're using their goalkeeper. Everybody's getting into position. The midfielder getting good angles, and they're able to work. Liam Scales, we talked about him, is doing it quite well. And you can see the big difference between both. And is that down to technique? Is that down to working at it? Is that down to confidence? What is it, Craig? You know, because
confidence is part of it, of course. Yeah, it really is, and we've seen that. We've seen that there's opportunities to pass forward, and then they're scared to give the ball away, so they turn out and go back away, and the ball invariably ends up back at the goalkeeper.
And he kicks long.
And then he kicks it long. So, I mean, this is a classic sign of a team that's playing with very little confidence at the moment. I need to get a goal to get back into this, to get some energy into the team, because as the halves wore on, when the second goal went in, Celtic is starting to dominate possession. And that's dangerous, because that can often lead to more chances and then more goals.
Just a word about a man who's been back in the team last few weeks, Cameron Carter-Vickers. There was one outstanding example of how he defends. He was in danger of being run away from, wasn't he? Was it Vargas who was getting away from? Certainly.
Yeah, it was Vargas.
Yeah, on the counter attack, and he showed the pace, but he also showed the composure. He chose the exact moment to make the challenge, not like you see some defenders doing, desperately throwing themselves. He just, there's so much composure about the way he maintains himself at the back line.
No, he's got all the ability of a top defender. You know, he's got a bit of pace about him. We talk about his height, but he never gets done on that because of his body strength. He can almost use that body of his to get up early. And then, of course, it's about the timing of a tackle, when to tackle, all the things you talk about, decision making, and that strength. It's very difficult to run away from him. You know, whether it's you've got to go round him to run away, because he's not a slim guy. Let's face it, but he's a strong boy, but also then his composure on the ball. Has it? You're talking here about the defensive qualities, which is absolutely brilliant. But the other part, he looks totally composed when he's on the ball too.
I agree with that.
Ability.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's a joy to watch, isn't it? I mean, I know, Craig, you probably frustration at times that the art of defending at times seems to be a lost art in this game. But when you look at someone like Cameron Carter-Vickers, certainly, you can see the pride that he takes in defending.
He enjoys it.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, if you're going to be very good at something, you have to take enjoyment from it. And from that point of view, you can see that he doesn't like. He takes it personally if somebody runs away from him or gets by him, or there's a trick and gets around him. He takes it personally, and I mean, you can see him using his arms constantly just to try and put the strikers off and make contact with them. That's an important thing. People don't realise that. You can run alongside somebody, but to take their concentration away from what they're trying to do with the ball, you need to make contact with them. after, and he's brilliant at it.
Yeah, that's a great point from Craig there. And you have to got to enjoy defending, you know, and maybe we've lost that art of defending, and the young players now they don't have that enjoyment. I don't know, but certainly, you know, when you have a shutout and you don't let goals in, and you walk off the pitch and you might have been under the cosh, and you've come away and saying, hey, we've done well today. And it's not just yourself, the unit also between the goalkeeper, the centre halves, and that enjoyment. You go home with a pleasure, don't you?
Absolutely, it's a great feeling.
Yeah,
you know, coming off, maybe you're throwing yourself in front of a couple of shots inside the penalty box, and you know your goalie's made good saves, but you come away winning 1-0 in a match. When there's been nothing in it at all, and it's the defending that's won you the game. And that's enjoyment that the strikers get for scoring goals. Well, defenders and goalkeepers get the same thing from clean sheets.
And you see it actually in training also. You know what I mean? True. It's not just in match day, but when you're at a club and you see defenders and you see the type of mentality that they have, and they're enjoying that in training too, you know, and they might leave something on somebody and train and enjoy that a little bit too. Willie Miller had an art in that, hadn't he?
Oh, that's for sure. Look, Celtic are, they're midway towards another victory. They've conceded just 5 goals in 8.5 games so far. They'll be looking to record another clean sheet, and if they do, that will guarantee that they will be taking the points. They'll be moving 7 clear at the top of the table, unbeaten in 9 league games stretching back to last season. They've won 5 in the bounce. It's looking very likely to be 6 in a row. They went ahead early through Matt O'Reilly's 6th goal of the season. They've all come in the league. He is the top Premiership scorer so far this season. And then just midway through the half, Hatate with the low cross, Maeda with a tap in, and it is Celtic who are absolutely cruising at Tynecastle. Gorgeous afternoon in the capital, and Celtic certainly enjoying themselves in the sunshine. Hearts 0, Celtic 2. Highlights tonight, extended highlights on Sports Scene, 7:15 in the BBC Scotland channel, where you'll also see the best of the action from yesterday. There's wins for Kilmarnock and Rangers, which we can look back on and discuss in the final part of the programme. We're with you this afternoon through until 5 o'clock, so plenty of time to reflect on the events of the day. We'll certainly hear from both teams, and we'll build up to what is going to be a busy midweek rather, of action here on Sports Sound. The Premiership rearranged encounter, Dundee Ross County on Tuesday. There's European action Wednesday with Celtic, Thursday with Rangers and Aberdeen. Busy week, all coming up here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. But right now, it is time for the second half. Hearts against Celtic, live on Sports Sound with Pat Bonner, Craig Levine and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. We just kicked off as Johnston immediately looks for the diagonal for Maeda, and it's missed by Cochrane. Maeda plays it across, it's behind Kyogo, who then swivels, it's in the box, and it's a penalty. Penalty to Celtic. 13 seconds to the second half, and Nick Walsh points to the spot. Hearts are absolutely stunned. The punters haven't even retaken their seats, and it's bad to worse for Hearts.
To be honest, I didn't see much in it, I'll be honest with you. It was one of them where it was Cochrane initially that missed the ball. He should have been doing better. I know it's the start of the second half and concentration level there, but he should have been doing better. It was a long ball, played up the pitch, and he should have been able to deal with it. Maeda got in, cut it back, and whether his leg's been taken away, I would like to see that one on.
He actually made a barrier to stop the Hearts player getting the ball, and I think there was contact. I don't know how much.
The referee was right beside it. That was the big point. He's obviously it's been checked. And
let's quickly go to Brian and see if he can give us a quick update.
I'm surprised at that. The penalty's been given. I'm surprised at that because it looked as if it was an accidental clash, and I don't think that was a free kick. But VAR's had a look, Nick Walsh has had a look, and it's going to be a penalty to Celtic.
Here we go. Rio Hatate scored one against Livingston, of course, and he's lining up, run up towards the edge of the box. Hatate against Xander Clark. The Japan midfielder pauses, little stuttering run up, and he's hit the post and away. Celtic miss the chance to go 3 up at the start of the second half. Ball still alive. O'Reilly's cross deflected into the arms of Clark, and Hearts survive.
Yeah, and that might just give Hearts a bit of a lift, to be perfectly honest. It's funny how these things happen within a game. It could have killed the game off completely, and just Hearts get away with it.
And here are Hearts. Forrest, midway through the Celtic half. He's dribbling out towards the right-hand side. He's got two Celtic players for company in Taylor and McGregor. He's trying to go round Taylor, who watches all the way and then blocks. It's a Hearts corner, and the momentum is behind them after that penalty miss from Rio Hatate.
Yeah, he was just waiting, wasn't he, for the goalkeeper to go the wrong way, and yeah, just outside of the post and doesn't go in the back of the net. Gives Hearts a real lifeline.
Corner to Hearts, over on the far side in front of the away support. It's Lowry with the right foot into the near post, headed away to the edge. Cochrane regathers though, and then Hatate puts a right-footed challenge in that goes back for Devlin, who's looked at loft it in behind. It's fallen for Lowry's danced away from one, left-footed cross. Scales stoops to head it away, and then offside flag goes up against Hearts, and Celtic will have the free kick over on the far side. But yeah, Hatate had the goalkeeper beaten, just not the upright, and it stays Hearts 0, Celtic 2. 48 played. Celtic go long, and again Maeda gets up and challenges Cochrane. This time it was illegally, says Nick Walsh, and Hearts will have the free kick.
I don't think there's a slim chance of coming back from two behind, Pat. I don't think, you know, what we've seen today, I don't think 3 would have been possible.
And Hearts go long, and Vargas is in behind, and Joe Hart came a long way and then retreated into his box, and the Hearts fans feel he's gathered that outside his penalty there. I have to say, at first glance I thought he had retreated inside, and the referee clearly agrees, and Celtic will play out. Here's Hart, Scales edge of the box. Forrest closed down, but he gets it away first time to Taylor on the left hand side. Forrest forces him to turn back in field. Scales and Celtic, and they'll be annoyed at that missed penalty. And I have to say, Hatate obviously seems to be the taker this season, but given, you know, Kyogo's goal scoring record, Callum McGregor, good penalty taker, perhaps a surprise, because the one he scored against Livingston, that wasn't exactly convincing, dribbled under the goalkeeper. Missed one here. Here's Johnston, and he's looking for that run of Maeda again, who applauds the pass, but it was too far in front of him. Skips into the arms of Xander Clark, who would have been mighty relieved as he dived to his left to see that penalty crash off his right hand post. And he puts the right foot through it, goes long, over halfway. Carter Vickers up against Vargas, wins the header. Maeda's going to pick it up, nods it back to Johnston, helps it to O'Reilly, whose pass for Carter Vickers is heavy, so he leaves it for Joe Hart. He takes a touch with the right foot and then hoists it up towards halfway. Cochrane wins the challenge ahead of Maeda this time. O'Reilly controls the seconds in midfield, and he's back to his goalkeeper, Joe Hart, and it is Hearts 0, Celtic 2. 50 minutes played, but what a dramatic start to the second half that was. Interesting to see that penalty decision back, but VAR, Andrew Dallas clearly had a look and was happy with it. On-field decision, flick round the corner from Hatate, first time is set Palma way down the left, and then he's crossed it into the middle for O'Reilly. It breaks for Kyogo! And Celtic are 3 in front! And it's Hearts' chief tormentor, Kyogo Furuhashi, who nets the crucial third goal, his 8th goal in 9 appearances against Hearts. And surely that is game over now. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 3.
Yeah, listen, it was a fantastic bit of play by Hatate. Lovely little flick round the corner for Palma, who played it in. Hearts looked as if they had a chance of clearing it, but it failed to Kyogo. He's not going to miss from there, Craig.
No, it's a good finish, of course it is, but I mean, a player of his quality is never going to miss that chance. And the goalkeeper had absolutely no chance whatsoever. But I mean, there's people leaving in their hundreds now, Pat, and then I think they fear the worst. And certainly, if Hearts don't get their finger out, this could be messy.
Celtic in cruise control, and that ends Kyogo's 3-game run in the Premiership without a goal, which equalled his longest run, which tells you everything you need to know about how prolific he is. Just the 3 games. It's only happened once before. Emphatically ended here as he crashed that ball from the middle of the box beyond Xander Clark. And Hearts, well, the empty seats now around Tynecastle say it all, and they do have a free kick just inside the Celtic half. Alex Cochrane will deliver with the left foot as he tries to fire this up towards the edge of the box, which is exactly what he does. It's high. O'Reilly's underneath it as it's Hatate who gets the touch on it. Scales will get there to prevent the corner. smashes it with the left boot high into the air, up to the halfway line. Maeda's putting Hearts under pressure, as is Palma, who didn't manage to get the head on that. It's cleared, it's in the air. Taylor heads it, and then it's caught late, and Nick Walsh, the referee, awards Celtic the free kick on the far side.
Yeah, I think you're right, Craig. I think Hearts need to just decide what they're going to do here. Are they going to hang into this, onto these sort of 3-0 deficit, or are they going to change something or get people onto the pitch? It's not looking good for them at the moment.
No, and Celtic got their tails up as well. That's the other thing. That's 3-0 up and then missed the penalty.
Yeah, I just can't see what they're actually trying to do today. That's the problem.
No, there hasn't been any idea for me in possession of how to break Celtic down.
Taylor's headed out only as far as Devlin, who's up towards the edge of the box, but again it just couldn't take it under control in the run, and it's away by Celtic. Maeda again gets something on it, and he's given it to Hatate, who spreads out to the left hand side, and Palma. He's got Sibic hot on his heels, but he's out on the left hand touchline, tries to jink away, still got the ball, but then Sibic gets a really strong challenge in, and Palma blocks his clearance. He'll go behind for a goal kick. 53.5 nearly played. Hearts 0, Celtic 3. But there will be a lot of Brendan Rodgers, I'm sure, will be relieved after that penalty miss that they got the third goal so soon after, to kill Hearts' hopes, barring a miracle comeback, which certainly does not look likely at this point. 53.5 in. Goal kick from Clark Long. Shankland heads it. Scales, right foot up towards Kyogo, but it's cut out by Neuvenhoff. And then here's Hatate, jinks away from Neuvenhoff, goes down, doesn't get the free kick. Devlin with outside the boot pass, looks for Vargas. Cameron Carter-Vickers was stooping almost to the ground to head that, but head it he did. Now Celtic have it through Maeda on the right-hand side. And halfway back to Johnston, to McGregor, who's got 4 maroon jerseys round him, and squeezes a wonderful pass around the corner through the gap to Scales, to Taylor, up to Palma on the left-hand side. He's now midway through Hearts' half. He comes in on the right foot, which he loves to do, and he's fired the cross in towards Maeda, who gets a head on it. It was an awkward one, and it spins behind for a goal kick. But Dyson Maeda's come out for the second half like a man possessed down this right-hand side. He's constantly making those runs, and he just couldn't control the finish on that occasion.
I don't know if there's a fitter player in the Scottish Premier League than Maeda. He's constantly running, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's his strength also, the power of his, he's quick, but he's got his power also. Lacks a little bit of quality at times, as in certain situations, but he makes up for it with all the rest of it.
Scales wins it in the middle of the pitch. He's caught, free kick. Walsh points for the foul. Celtic very much on course to extend that gap back to 7 points in a busy period for the league leaders. It's the first of 7 games in 21 days. Here's Maeda driving infield up towards the edge of the box. Hatate gets it off him, and he's threaded it in for Johnson, who left it because there was a sliding tackle from Lowry coming in, but it's back with O'Reilly down the right-hand side, back to Johnson, who's wonderful pass infield to Hatate, who's in the box, takes a touch, left-footed shot, flies past Clark's right-hand post. Another wonderfully worked move by Celtic.
There's more goals in this, I think, Pat. What do you?
There is. It looks that way. Listen, the quality of O'Reilly there was evident. Keeping that ball in, then the ability to keep it alive into Maeda, into Hatate, and Hatate then just trying to curl it into the back post. Definitely there's going to be more chances here for Celtic. And I go back to my point, I'm not sure when I look at Hearts, are they building from the back? Are they playing long? Are they they're working hard enough to a point, but I just don't see what their game plan is today.
Scales wins the header. O'Reilly in the centre circle, outside foot pass over to Hatate, who wanted Palma to run in behind, but they weren't on the same wavelength. It goes through to Xander Clark. Hearts, it's a big period as well for Stephen Naismith. They obviously had the Hibs game. Celtic here, this has not gone to plan so far, and they go to Ibrox next week. They've got Livingston at home, and then it's Rangers again in that League Cup semi-final. Defining moments, you feel, even early in the season, about Hearts and how they will look to go about their business this campaign. Here's McGregor, and he's caught by Vargas, free kick. And Vargas is furiously protesting, and he's going to get a book, go in the book, get a yellow card. and there's going to be a couple of substitutions. Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, a couple of changes. Benny Beningame and Yutara Oda are the players coming on. Being replaced is number 51 Alex Lowry and number 8 Callum Newenoff are coming off. So Callum Newenoff in particular, I don't think he's had a day to remember here this afternoon.
Thanks, Brian. So Hearts go to the bench and try and get some pride at least back in this performance. And Benny Beningame, oh, it's good. I remember in that last win that Hearts had against Celtic here in that 2-1 Postecoglou's first league game, he was outstanding. Really announced himself as a Hearts player, and obviously that serious injury, if he can get back to that form, he could be a really good player for Hearts this season, but still getting back up to speed. And here's Carter Vickers, gets it back from McGregor. Here's Scales. Celtic leading by 3 goals to 0 here at Tynecastle. 58 played, and Lewis Palma goes down and gets a free kick, and it's a booking. Is that Oda straight in the book? Not sure.
No, I think it's the
Sibic. Sibic on the far side.
It wasn't the best pass. It just left him short a little bit, and I think Sibic gave it every right. Maybe go for it. Is just the timing was out slightly. I think it's a free kick. I'm not sure if it was. Did he book him?
Yeah, he did book him. Yeah. The yellow card was out. Toby Sibic. Here's O'Reilly. Maeda on the right hand side. Back to O'Reilly. He got the scoring started after just 4 minutes with a wonderful left-footed finish on a volley across the goalkeeper. Obviously got his first senior call up for Denmark during the window. He was on holiday in Mallorca. Got the call after an injury. He went and played San Marino. He didn't get on. It was a game which Denmark squeaked home in 2-1. San Marino equalising. But that's a recognition of his progress this season, Matt O'Reilly. And that call up. Here comes Celtic. Carter Vickers crosses halfway, takes a touch forward, puts it out to Johnson on the right hand side. First time crossing towards Maeda. Hearts get a flick on it at the near post. It's out to Palma at the other side of the box. Gives it back to McGregor. Left-footed pass out to Taylor on the touchline. He goes back to McGregor, turns, faces the goal, and Celtic back at the halfway line, and in no rush as they look to keep possession and start again. Carter Vickers forward for Kyogo. First time flick to Hatate. Hearts get foot in, and it breaks for Oda, back from injury. Just come on, but he's swarmed by his compatriots Hatate and Maeda, and Celtic win the ball back. Hearts get the ball back. Shanklin has it on the touchline just to force it down for Vargas, cut out, and then there's a Hearts player down. I think it is Oda on the far side. He claimed he was fouled. He's taken a sore one, but Nick Walsh, I don't think, was interested in the free kick. He's blown his whistle, and then he's asking someone to come across, is he? Sure, it's Cammy Devlin who's been asked to. He's going to have words with.
Yeah, and as a Tati and Devlin, I think there's been a wee edge with the two of them the whole game, you know, to be honest. So the referee's just having a word with him.
Yeah, calm down, gents. Probably the message from Nick Walsh. Hearts free kick. It is a free kick over on that far side. Alex Cochrane will take. It's just a yard or so over the halfway line. Left foot high, cross towards the back of the box. Celtic deal with it. Carter Vickers puts the foot through it up to the centre circle. Devlin's header. O'Reilly wins the second ball, and Oda gets a head on it. It's a bit of head tennis. Rolls. Shanklin, it's still in the air. Carter Vickers. O'Reilly sends it down. Eventually it hits the grass, and it's going to bounce back for Xander Clark, who's under pressure from guess who? Dyson Maeda. Goes long, and it's going to be chased by Alan Forrest, who hasn't given up hope, and he's done well. Oh, he thought he'd done well. He got to the ball, but then let it bounce over his foot as he tried to control it, and it's out for a Celtic throw. It's Hearts 0, Celtic 3, 61 played.
I'm trying to think. Joe Hart one save in the first half.
Yeah, near post.
Near post.
And that's
been it, you know, for Hearts, for a hope. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. You know, they're playing with 4 players almost up front. You know, Shanklin dropping off a little bit. I think he's changed his position in the second half. They had, you know, Vargas. They had trying to look at Lowry, Forrest, but they haven't created anything.
I think it's hard to create when you're. But they look to me like they're lacking in confidence, Pat. And you know, the play suggests that. And you know, you're just hoping that you can maybe get a goal, get some confidence, and at least have a strong finish to the match.
Here's Oda on the right-hand touchline, infield to Benny Beningame. Rangy figure, stabs it through for Civic on the edge of the box. Taylor's tackle, and Hatate just barrels away from Binningham. He used his body expertly to make sure the Hearts midfielder couldn't get onto that, and then he gives it to Palma, who loses out to Binningham, and Devlin comes away with it up to Oda. He's going to try and run at Scales, but his touch was heavy, which allowed Scales to put it out for a throw on the far side. Can Hearts sow any seed of doubt in the minds of the Celtic players and get a goal? It's a throw in over on the far side, as the guys have just mentioned. They've not really looked like scoring. A couple of corners which threatened the Vargas effort in at the near post, which was ambitious and well struck, but Hart made the save you'd expect him to be. Here's Devlin in the box, right hand side, tries to cross, it's come off O'Reilly's foot, back to Scales, who only clears it as far as Binningham. He's given it out to Cochrane, who's come in field from the left-footed shot, blocked by Carter Vickers. Away goes Maeda, chasing it, he's going to get there ahead of Cochrane, he's over halfway. Celtic only have 2 up. Palma's trying to join the race, but Maeda comes in field away from Rolls, gives it onto O'Reilly, edge of the box, his touch lets him down, and it allows Frankie Kent to get the challenge in, but it breaks for Johnson. Infield to O'Reilly, tries to touch it away from the Hearts defender. It's broken for Hatate on the edge of the box, left-footed strike blocked by Rolls, who then gives it to Oda, and then Oda skips away from a Celtic player, and he's away from McGregor. Well, McGregor's at least forced him to check his counter-attacking run, and he's looking for support. Oda, he's coming out to this left-hand side, infield to Forrest. He's going to try and get space onto the right foot to shoot, but Matt O'Reilly, how many tackles has he won this afternoon as well? Gives it to Hatate now, he's under pressure, but gets it away to O'Reilly, back to Hatate, onto McGregor, and then Johnston. And Celtic will just calm things down once more. Johnston, O'Reilly was slipped, allowed Binningham to take it, who's given it to Shankland, edge of the box, goes for the right-footed shot, tests the wrists of Joe Hart, who beats it away, and then Johnston and Vargas tangle on this near side. It's a throw into Hearts. Vargas goes quickly to Forrest, controls it on the thighs in the box. Maeda nips in ahead of Binningham, but then he's given it away right in the edge of the box to Shankland. He takes it on the tongue! Oh, it's a wonderful goal from Lawrence Shankland. Maeda makes the error. The Hearts captain takes a touch and bends it into the bottom corner, and it's something for the home side to cling on to. Hearts 1, Celtic 3.
Probably the first bit of real quality we've seen from Hearts today, and it's that man Lawrence Shankland. I mean, he got the ball at the edge of the box. It was a mistake by Maeda. Celtic have been rampant recently, and he makes a mistake, and finally Hearts managed to take advantage of it. He's used the defender, I think, just to get his mark, curled it round and just inside that near post. Wonderful finish from Shankland.
Yeah, magnificent finish. Goalkeeper, no chance, just bent it round in that inside left post. But again, Maeda had given the ball away on the edge of the box. When he did the hard bit, winning the ball back, slackness really to allow Hearts to get that goal and put them back into the game to a point. And that's certainly making a few changes.
Brian, couple of changes.
Yeah, a couple of changes. Lewis Palma and Rio Hatate, their game is over. Of course, a big game coming up in midweek against Atletico Madrid. Possibly with that in mind, Tomarke Awata comes on, and James Forrest will be up against his brother Alan for the last 25 minutes.
Yep, that'll be interesting. And Alan Forrest, he's 0 from 5 when he's been on the pitch against his brother, and he's now going to be 0 from 6, unfortunately for him, by the look of it. And this goal can spark something wild from Hearts. And here's Scales. Taylor tries to pass up the left-hand side. Devlin intercepts, and here's Oda, Binningham. And there's just a bit of life being injected around Tynecastle. Here's Binningham, closed down by O'Reilly. Back to Civic. Celtic force Hearts back. Here's Frankie Kent out to the right-back position in Civic, who takes a touch away from the on-rushing James Forrest. Dinks it out. Switch of play to Cochrane. First-time pass looking for Alan Forrest. Carter Vickers gets there though and chips it up the touchline. It's over Maeda, through for Kai Rolls, who himself chips it up for Cochrane, and back to Devlin. Nice pass for Forrest, who's now got room to run into the Hearts winger. Comes infield, and it's back to Forrest, onto Devlin. Hearts in the middle of the pitch, and then Devlin's passed it behind Toby Civic, and Oda's going to just keep it on the far side from going out for a Celtic throw-in. Just a lack of accuracy there. And here's Binningham. Gets it back, and Forrest over to the right touchline, and Oda infield again. Hearts keeping a bit of possession. It's into Devlin in the centre circle. Maida presses, Devlin gets away, he's going to try and switch it, but Maida blocked the path really well. He's then hit off him and it's scrappy in the middle of the pitch. Hearts come away with it through Kent, then Civic in the centre circle again, onto Rolls, who spreads the play with the left foot to Cochrane in this left-hand side. O'Reilly's come across to meet him. Cochrane wants an option, gets one from Civic, who's come into a central midfield role for the time being, and then he fizzes it to Oda. Touch and looks to go round the outside of Greg Taylor. He didn't get any change out of the Scotland fullback. That's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, a bit more opportunities for Hearts to get
a bit more like it.
Yeah, a wee bit more like it, and Celtic just come off it a little bit.
That's wonderful from James Forrest. Turns away from Civic, just a little shimmy, and he's still going up towards the edge of the penalty area, and his shot is blocked and behind for a corner kick. Oh, that was brilliant. That was James Forrest of old, that one.
Yeah, just kidded the defender on and just flipped it around him and ran and used his little bit of pace then to get away into it, and really good position outside the box.
68 on the clock. Hearts 1, Celtic 3. Ronan Shankland's goal a few moments ago broke a run of 7 without a goal and has given his team something to build on in the final quarter or so of this game. It's going to be O'Reilly's corner for Celtic with a left foot into the near post. Scales was in there, Hearts get something on it, and it's out to the other side, the left hand side, where Forrest collects. He thinks about the cross and he gives it short. Here's Iwata over to O'Reilly, left footed cross. Maida's there, but Kent heads it away. Carter Vickers is underneath it, 30 yards from goal. It drops for Taylor, who lets it run across his body and gives it back to Alistair Johnston, his fellow fullback, who then passes it with the right foot to Iwata. A rare appearance for him this season, just a third of the season for the Japanese midfielder, and he's showing an option here for Johnson, but Johnson opts to go outside to Maeda on the right hand side, infield to Iwata, up to Kyogo, gives it first time round the corner, but then it's broken for Maeda after an initial block out to the right hand touchline. He's up against Alex Cochrane. And he checks back this time. He's away from Cochrane but going away from goal. He's come infield, Dyson Maeda. On to Iwata. And then Johnston, he tries to go by two Hearts players. Cochrane stands strong, gets a really good tackle in, and it has broken for Shankland. Back to Cochrane. Devlin, Hearts trying to play their way out of this corner of the pitch, and Shankland's turned away from Maeda brilliantly, and he's had his heels clipped there, and advantage is being played by the referee as Hearts come forward. Here's Shankland, and he's worked the pass to Forrest on the left hand side. Danger for Celtic here as Forrest looks to come in field, foot in from Celtic, but it's broken for Oda. Scales puts pressure on him though, and Oda has to come all the way back to midway through the Celtic half, and it's back with Beningame then to Kent, and Kyogo is frantically closing down the Hearts defenders. Beningame on halfway, wait for the pass now to Frankie Kent. A lofted ball to the touchline for Civic, sun in his eyes, but he heads it first time to Vargas, who gives it to Beningame, bang in the middle of the pitch. First time pass forwards, Shankland doesn't get there, and then it breaks again for Hearts. Here is Vargas, right hand corner of the box, out to Civic. Tackle comes in, but it's ridden well by Civic, out to the right hand side, infield for Forrest. He's going to line up the shot with the left foot, but it's straight down the throat of Joe Hart, despite being on target. But much better from Hearts, Craig Levine.
Yeah, that was a good passage of play from Hearts, and ended up with a shot on goal. Well, which is the main aim here, to get as many chances as possible to see if we can get back in this match. That was much better. And
that wasn't happening in the first half. Any possession they had, they never got any
sustained
end quality.
Yeah, no sustained possession and no end quality.
Kyogo slides in and gets a free kick. Cammy Devlin cannot believe it, gets his hands on his head. It was his challenge. Kyogo got there and was on the free kick, and the home fans not too happy. They won't be too happy with the scoreline or the performance, but in the last sort of 7-8 minutes since Shankland got that goal, it's been Hearts' best spell of the game, and there's going to be a couple of changes, Brian.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 changes for Celtic and 1 for Hearts. For Celtic, first of all, Kyogo, his game is over. This is Dyson Maeda, who's been electric this afternoon, coming on to replace him. Hun Yun Yang and Hyun Ju Oh coming on. For Hart and Midlothian, Liam Boyce is a player who's going to be coming off. I'm still waiting to see exactly who will be the player certainly coming on. Gordon, the kit man at Hearts, a little bit frustrated here that the fourth official won't take the board from him.
Fun and games.
They're waiting until Kyogo actually comes off, and then eventually, the board's now going up. And it's going to be number 77, Kenneth Vargas, who scored for Costa Rica under-21s in midweek. He's the player being replaced. Liam Boyce coming on for the last 18 minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Liam Boyce on, and a goal scorer. As Hearts look to try and, as I mentioned earlier, just so a wee seeded out if they were to get one more, set up an intriguing finish. But Celtic have looked dangerous themselves, of course. Here's Forrest on the left-hand touchline, comes infield and he goes away from Civic, back out to the touchline. Civic has watched him, comes infield for O, who controls it, lays it off, and then it's just behind Callum McGregor, and it'll allow Hearts to break up the field with Forrest, but Celtic have got plenty of numbers back, and Forrest is actually forced to go backwards all the way to Kent, who has to put the foot through it under pressure from O, and then Scales heads it up, and it's flicked on towards O, but Rolls clears. Boyce with the first touch, since coming on a minute ago, and then it's up the touchline. Oda lets it go in behind, but Johnston read that well, and he'll just knock that back to Joe Hart, and that'll be simple enough for Celtic to deal with, as Hart goes across his own box to Scales, who's under pressure from Shankland, who got the challenge across and forces Celtic to stay in their own half, throwing on the far side. We've played 73.5 minutes, and it's Hearts 1, Celtic 3, as O controls on the chest. Beningame gets in though to rob him of possession. Here's Kai Rolls in the centre circle now for Hearts. Pass across to Cochrane, then left foot up to Oda, tries to get away from Johnston but has to knock it back to Cochrane, and along to Kai Rolls. Hearts building again, Kent, and closed down by Yang, and there'll be a throw in on the far side.
Yeah, I think from Hearts' perspective, Beningame has actually done a better job in the middle of the pitch, hasn't he? You know, he's just sat there and he's just kept the ball flowing.
Yep, and he's not tried anything fancy, he's just connecting the lines, isn't he?
Yeah.
Throw into Hearts, trailing by 3-1. It's headed away by Scales to the feet of James Forrest, under pressure back to Taylor, who can only hack it into the Edinburgh sky and out into the Celtic dugout. Throw in for Hearts just over halfway. Civic takes a few yards and then goes forward to fling it, and then Carter Vickers falls for him. He clears it with the right boot. Devlin controls, and he's had to go up in the air back to Kent, and that's the trigger for Celtic to fire forward, and Kent has to balloon it into the air. Boyce gets his body in, as does Iwata, and then it's a Hearts free kick in the centre circle. Beningame goes quickly. Hearts look to get on with it. They want something better, something to give something for Celtic to think about. Here's O'Reilly though, as Celtic turn it over. Boyce gets back, tackle. Cochrane up the left-hand touchline to Oda, tried to be too clever with a flick, miskicked, and Celtic have the ball back through to Moki Iwata. He's on halfway, gives it to Johnston on the right-hand touchline, tried outside of the boot pass, which Cochrane has blocked. Iwata's got there first. O'Reilly with a first-time pass. You could see exactly what he was thinking there, and there was a thumbs up from Yang as well, but it was fizzed too far in front of him, and it's out for a Hearts throw in on this near side.
Yeah, I think Brendan Rodgers will be happy with the scoreline. I don't think he'd be happy with the last 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so. They've lost a little bit of their composure, Celtic, and their passing has gone astray a little bit. They've allowed Hearts back into this game.
McGregor intercepts, gives it to O, gets it back after good work from Yang, and it's down the touchline from O'Reilly, and again he shakes his head because he knows he should have done better. He tried to play it down for Yang, but he's put it out of the park, and it'll be a Hearts throw in. And it'll be interesting to see how some of these substitutions make an impact for Celtic as well, because they've got so many games in the next 3 weeks that you gather that a lot of them are going to have to play a part. And Scales collects at the back, goes long under pressure. Rolls is going to win the header. Boyce is going to pick that up nicely. He's got McGregor at his back, offloads to Beningame. Hearts in their own half. Cochrane back to Rolls. He's under pressure from O, but that's a good shimmy and gets the ball away. Then he's fizzed it into Beningame, who takes it on the turn. Lovely from Beningame. Rangy player, but he's got a poise about him. Nice to watch, and gives it back to Rolls. And Hearts, the crispness of their passing, Craig, has improved significantly.
Yeah, I do think that bringing Boyce on and bringing Beningame on as well has helped that for sure.
They go across the back to Kent. Celtic content to let them have it at the back for now, and they go long looking for Shanklin, but Scales intercepted. He's played it through to McGregor, but Boyce got the foot in, robbed the Celtic captain. O'Reilly tries to nick it away, and then Boyce gets back again and makes the block. He's got it just outside the centre circle, puts a step over in to get away from McGregor, but it's good work from Yang to get back, and Hearts still have it though, and it's Forrest. Carter Vickers goes in with a challenge, misses the ball. Advantage being played, says the referee. Forrest out to the right hand side where Sibic takes it. He's going to put a low cross into the middle of penalty. It's laid off for Forrest. Scales makes the block, and then it's behind. And Hearts are appealing for a potential handball as Liam Scales slid in to block that, but we couldn't quite see. But much better from Hearts, much better.
Yeah, and of course Shanklin up in the position you want him to be up. You know, in the first half he was drifting away back and trying to almost deal with McGregor too, and from a defensive perspective, and then working off that. When he's high up the pitch, that's the kind of ball he wants into his feet.
Absolutely. It's a much better spell for Hearts.
Goal kick to Celtic. They lead by 3-1. 78 minutes played. O'Reilly and Maeda before the break. Hatate missed a penalty. Kyogo a few minutes later made it 3-0. And Lawrence Shanklin's wonderful curled effort from the edge of the box has given Hearts some hope. Faint hope, albeit, and it's certainly given them some life because their performance has improved infinitely since that goal went in. Here's Celtic though. Forrest on the left-hand side. He's using his arm to keep Sibic at arm's length, and then Devlin nicks it off McGregor, and Hearts are on the front foot again, but Celtic do get it back when it's given away again. Here's Boyce. Iwata goes in. It breaks now for O, who lays it to O'Reilly in the centre circle. Iwata gets the body across, but Beningame is battling, but Iwata comes away with it. He's in the centre circle. Devlin tries the tactical foul, misses. Here's Iwata out to the left-hand corner of the box. Forrest comes in. He's going to come in on the right foot. Shot blocked by Sibic. Breaks wide for Johnston. Then into Iwata, back to McGregor, midway through the Hearts half. Left-footed pass now for Yang. He's going to come in field. Gives it to Forrest round the corner for Johnson. Puts the cross across the box. It's not falling for... it's Iwata, or is it Yang actually? It broke for him and he just struck it weakly. And it's blocked in mind for a corner kick.
Yeah, a nice little bit of play, interchanging passes from Celtic. But Yang there, just control the ball and just take. He hits it first time.
He wasn't set to hit it, was he?
No, and he could have just hit all the time in the world. Just take a touch and pick your spot.
Here's O'Reilly, left-footed cross, headed away by Kent, but only up to the edge of the box. And then Sibic will clear as it comes back in. Bounces in the centre circle. Johnston's the only man at home for Celtic. He takes a touch, faces up the Hearts team, and he's going to dink it out to the right-hand side, but Yang wasn't looking. It allowed Cochrane to steal in, but his touch isn't great, and then Yang stumbles as he tries to regather the ball. Cochrane goes quickly, flings the ball down the touchline, and Shanklin races after it. Johnson at his back, he gets two hands on his back. No free kick. Shanklin gets back up, he's holding Johnson off to the corner of the box. Johnson gets a tackle, and Iwata back to O'Reilly, and Carter Vickers has it in the box. The Hearts fans felt that was a foul on the touchline in front of us. There was two hands in the back, but wasn't a huge deal of force in it. But on we go. McGregor across halfway into the centre circle. Pass out to the left-hand corner of the box where Forrest has it. Cross with the left foot into the middle of the box. It's going to break back for Greg Taylor, who squares it across. Here's saved by the leg of Clark. Back to blocked by Rolls. It's frantic, and there's Iwata. He's curled in. Celtic have their fourth goal, and that is surely that for Hearts. They've been spirited since the Shanklin goal, but Tomoki Iwata's curled one in off the bar, and that is surely 3 points now for Celtic. Hearts 1, Celtic 4.
Well, they needed about 3 or 4 bites at it. Eventually they got it in the back of the net. I think the Hearts fans are giving the referee a little bit of abuse here because they felt it was a free kick down here and at the edge of the Celtic box on Shanklin. And he didn't give it, and then Celtic break up the other end, Craig.
Still had a lot to do, but to be fair, I mean, the free kick, if it was given, was going to be given 10-15 yards outside the Celtic box. And it was a good passage of play for Celtic. The problem Hearts have got is when they get to 3-1 and they need to try and get more goals, then you leave yourself open, and that's exactly what happened. And against the quality that Celtic have got, I'm not surprised that they managed to get another goal.
Change for Hearts, Brian McLaughlin.
And also a change for Celtic coming up, but for Hearts, Cammy Devlin's game is over and he's been replaced by George Grant, and for the last 9 minutes or so, number 28 Paulo Bernardo is coming on, and he's going to be replacing the captain of Celtic. He just hands the armband, I think it is, to Greg Taylor, and Callum McGregor's been replaced. Bernardo coming on.
Well, Callum McGregor, it's 43rd start in a row for Celtic since his injury last autumn, and he'll be saved for the battles ahead. Celtic back 3 goals in front, and they were rocked ever so slightly for 15 minutes or so there after Shankland's goal, but Tomoki Iwata's first Celtic goal has now put the result beyond any doubt, if there was any doubters left there. And here's Boyce, has made a difference since coming on for Hearts, and he's given it infield. Here's George Grant with the first touch onto Forrest, loses out, and then a good tackle, and it's meaty in midfield, and almost broke for Grant there, but Iwata came across with a sliding tackle, and it's going to go back to Joe Hart, who's come out his box on the left hand side, but he's not under pressure. Puts the clearance in, it's over Sibic on the Hearts right hand side, and he's got it again though, Sibic, and then it's off a Celtic player for the Hearts throw just over halfway. 83 played, and it's Hearts 1, Celtic 4. And it's the away fans who are singing here at Tynecastle. Here's Boyce, and he's played it in behind for Oda on the left hand side. He's up against Carter Vickers, gives it back to Cochrane, infield for Boyce, back to Beningame for Boyce, step over from Boyce, right footed pass to the left hand touchline, and Cochrane has got the left footed cross. Johnson doesn't deal with it, it comes off what looked like the shoulder of Tomoki Iwata. Some appeals in the stands for a handball. Back with Cochrane on the left hand side, he's played it into the box where Shankland collects, facing away from goal. He's trying to get sight, he turns away from Scales, he's got to the byline lawn, and Shankland. Scales recovers with a sliding challenge, and then Oda takes a vicious swipe at it, and it goes behind for a goal kick, and in fact the flag was up for offside in any case, and it's Hearts 1, Celtic 4. Nearly 84 played here at Tynecastle.
Craig, just looking at the way that Hearts have done and what they've done in that second part of the second half.
Yeah, much more encouraging.
Yeah, but and the players that they have on the pitch, do you think that's what they should have started with?
Yeah, it's easy to say, isn't it? You know, after the event.
Well,
I mean,
Boyce has done really well.
Yeah,
Shankland in his own position.
I like Boyce and Shankland. I'd like to see them both in the team. They're both, for me, are Hearts 2 of the best attacking players. So I'd like to see them both in the team. And I would like to see both of them, and maybe somebody like Vargas in front of them, so they had space to join up the midfield and the front line. But I haven't seen Boyce and Shankland playing together that often, Pat.
No.
I mean, I know they've had injuries, and Boyce was out, in particular, was out for quite a long time. But for me, it would make some sense if they had another striker up there with them who would run behind.
Here's Forrest now, left hand side of the box, a Celtic break forward. O's in the middle, gets an outstretched leg onto it. And it's a fantastic stop, instinctive from Xander Clark to keep Celtic out again.
Yeah, it was a brilliant save, I've got to say, because using his strength to hold off the defender, and he's got good contact, and just Xander Clark, just, it's almost like a reflex save, just sticks his hand out, but it was a really good reflex save.
Scored in the last game with these sides. Ngo, and he was not far away there from adding another Celtic corner on the far side. So many maroon empty seats now at Tynecastle. Cross into the near post. Sibic heads away. He's been one of the few who have really done well. Toby Sibic on that far side, he's stood up to a lot. He's had a lot to deal with. It's infield, and it's flat in the corner for O'Reilly. He's going to cross it, and that was headed for O. If it wasn't for Frankie Kidd's interception, behind for another corner. Celtic want more.
Yeah, they always do. That's the point when you're up against it. You know, it'll get late in the game now. We're at 5 minutes to go, and there'll be tiredness among those Hearts defenders also.
O'Reilly's going to get another chance from the far side. Crosses with the left foot. It's over the penalty spot and Cameron Carter-Vickers. It falls to Iwata. Taylor, who's come across the right-hand side. He's moving infield, left-footed pass along the turf to Alistair Johnson, who's just outside the centre circle. He puts it a diagonal pass with the right boot, looking for Iwata, but it was too long behind for a goal kick, and it's Hearts 1, Celtic 4. 86.5 minutes played. The champions and league leaders well on course to extend their lead once more to 7 points over Rangers. And Hearts won't nudge any closer to St Mirren in third spot. Shanklin wins the header. Over for Forrest to chase, but Johnson leaps above him, heads forward. Cochrane wins the next challenge, and again, but Johnson will pick up the loose ball. It's a cross for O'Reilly. And then Celtic have it at the back for Carter Vickers, who is now wearing the captain's armband after Callum McGregor was replaced 3 or 4 minutes ago. Here's Yang, back to Carter Vickers, and Celtic knocking it about nonchalantly at the back. Hearts trying to press, but when they do press, and Joe Hart's going to go long, he's looking for O, and it breaks for Kai Rolls, at the back for Hearts, along to Kent, along to Sibic, right hand side. His pass is going to be intercepted by Iwata, and then Forrest has it on the touchline, who's infield again though. The ball is lost, and Hearts will start again from the back. Rolls with the outside the boot, just stabs it over to Cochrane. Nice pass, left hand side. Can Hearts produce one last stirring moment? They're not going to get anything from this game. And here's Grant battling away but loses out. In fact, he's got the free kick. Yang brought him down, and Hearts with a free kick and a chance to maybe put Celtic under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, just to get that ball into the box and hope that they can maybe get somebody off in the second phase. Celtic holding that high line again. George Grant is going to take with the right foot. It's just in front of us in the Wheatfield stand. Puts the right arm up. He's going to cross with the right foot. It's up to the edge of the box. Rolls wins a flick on, but it takes one bounce and into the gleeful Joe Hart, who mops it up and then flings it out to Forrest, who's on the left hand side. Back to Taylor. Celtic looking for an opening. There's O'Reilly into Forrest. O'Reilly back to Taylor. Celtic also comfortable. It's another story of disappointment for Hearts against Celtic. They are trailing by 4 goals to 1. It's going to be 3 and 44, 3 wins and 44 against Celtic for Hearts. And the amount of goals they concede as well, that'll be Celtic with a goal difference of plus 92 from those games, plus 91 rather as it stands. So it's something they will have to improve on. And here are Celtic. Forrest to Yang. Taylor on the edge of the box, looks for the cross of the back post where Forrest has come across, controls it on the edge of the 6-yard box, Rolls with a good tackle, and then he passes it away to Alan Forrest, who's got a long way to travel. Passes to Boyce, who touches away from Celtic player, and it's gone for a Celtic throw on this near side. 20 seconds left of the 90. Hearts 1, Celtic 4. Yeah, I think Hearts for that period of 15 minutes got themselves back into it. They got their goal. They just weren't able to maybe capitalise again on anything after that to put Celtic under any real pressure. Celtic will be very, very happy coming up here to Tynecastle to walk away with the 3 points, but also scoring 4 goals. And I think for a large period of the game, they played well enough. They knocked that ball around.
They controlled large spells of the match, I didn't know whether they were in top gear or not, in all honesty.
Here's Oda into the box for Hearts. He's going to take the right-footed shot on, and he smashed it into the side netting. Joe Hart didn't have to worry about that one too much. He flung himself across, but it's crashed into the side of the goal. It's still Hearts 1, Celtic 4. 4 minutes of added time.
Good position. Got to play it across the goalkeeper though. Low across the goalkeeper is the key in that position. Make the goalkeeper save it, knock it out, and you might have somebody coming in. I think Boyce was in a really good position also, but to take him on at his near post, not even hit the target properly.
Scales with the left foot, chips it forward. It's over. Hyungu O, and Beningame collects inside the Celtic half, but he has to pass it backwards to Rolls. Left foot over to Cochrane. Made his return from injury in place of Kingsley this afternoon. He's been given a tough afternoon, as all the players in maroon have, bar 15 minutes really in the second half when it was 3-1. Here's Beningame facing his own goal. Lovely footwork and use of his body to get away from O'Reilly, and he passes it across to Boyce. He's going to pass it over again to the right hand side, and Oda back to Boyce, who takes it on the turn, gives it back to Oda, who's come right in field, goes back out to try and get away from O'Reilly. George Grant, pass was a bit short, and then O'Reilly and Grant went in for the tackle, and the Hearts man gets the free kick. Here's Kai Rolls as Hearts go short. Kent, Rolls. Can Hearts at least finish with something? Reduce the gap to 2 again, but they give it away, and here's Forrest over halfway, over to O, he loses it to Kent, who's away from another Celtic player. He's still going, Kent, and he's fouled by Tomoki Iwata in the centre circle, and Hearts will have the free kick. That's the sarcastic applause of the home fans, and Iwata goes in the book for that challenge as well.
Yes, just blocked him off, didn't he? Yeah, the Hearts fans were looking for a yellow there, and he and he gave it. He took it out. Maybe it's a bit late in the game.
I think that's what the home fans were saying. Here's Grant's free kick, right foot high towards the back post. Boyce gets something on it, but again, it just goes into the grateful waiting arms of Joe Hart, who just clutches it, one hand keeping it on his chest as he's in no rush to get things moving. And we've played 3 of the 4 added minutes at Tynecastle. The league leaders 4-1 up. Header one at the back by Hearts. Oda gets something on it, falls for Grant. Here is Grant on the right hand side on halfway. Oda back to Grant. Neat stuff. Right footed pass to Forrest, who's in the middle of the pitch, then moves it on one to Cochrane, who's up from left back. Left hand side, he's going to cross with the left foot. Carter Vickers meets it at the front post, and Celtic will clear. That just evades O'Reilly, and Rolls will step in, gives it back to Cochrane. And Celtic just looking to see out the final 45 seconds or so of this game. They're 3 goals in front and heading 7 clear again at the Scottish Premiership summit. Here's Kent for Hearts, fires it into Shanklin, who tried to lance it forward into the path of Boyce with the chest, but it was an impossible task really. Shanklin with the only Hearts goal this afternoon as fans in front of us head for the exits. Many more Hearts fans have already done so this afternoon. Their team once again comfortably beaten by Celtic, and Celtic get a free kick. Yang fouled in his own half, and there is a full-time whistle. Well, it's another tale of